2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's showtime.
What's up, everybody? Sarah Whizbanger here with the Whizbanger Show. Welcome to another edition of Subterranean Soundwaves, one of my very favorite episodes to do because I get to focus on underground independent bands. Occasionally, there will be a PR group behind the band, but otherwise, these are bands without a label, without support, and doing it all on their own. I'm Sarah Whizbanger, your host with the most. It's springtime. Oh, feels so good. The snap in the air. I love the change of seasons. And despite the madness going on in the world, we have each other. And we have community, and we have mutual aid, and we have opportunities to be of service to others while the world is spinning on a very strange axis right now. Axis. That was Vanessa Funke, who I it's probably funk, but I like Funke. So Vanessa, I know you're listening. If I've mispronounced your name, please let me know. Vanessa is a One Human Band, and she was featured in my One Human Band episode that came out in October of last year. You can find it. It's show number 239. It is on the SoundCloud page for the Whizbanger Show, and it's awesome. And I just kind of found her in my quest for lurking for bands on Bandcamp, and lo and behold, there she was. She kind of a standalone melodic death gothic sort of genre, which I love. I love the mixed methodologies that happens in music. I swear I love it so much. And so she is among many other people now more and more on Blue Sky. So you can find her on Blue Sky, and it's Vanessa Funke, Funke, probably just Funk. And she is on the Bandcamp. She's also on Instagram. She has a YouTube channel, and then she also is on Blue Sky. So go and check her out there. And if you're on Blue Sky, find me, Sarah Whizbanger. There I am. She is from Germany. And the album Void came out in July of last year. I played the track for you opening up the show today with the song called The Funeral. I thought the One Human Band show, she closed the show out this way. This time I thought it'd be nice to open the show with her work. And she announced on Blue Sky not too long ago that her album Void made it into the upcoming issue of Rock Hard magazine, which is out of Germany. And I was going to be like, oh yeah, cool, I'll go read it. And then I was like, oh, it's in German. I don't speak German. I'm not even studying German, but I did just start studying Polish. So now I'm learning Polish, Czech, Hebrew, French, Italian, and of course Spanish, which I speak semi-fluently, so I'm working on other stuff. Hebrew's hard, dude. Yeah, learn new letters and stuff. So I asked her what I could share with listeners today. She said the next album will be out July or August of this year. So Vanessa, thank you for your beautiful art. Congratulations, and we cannot wait to hear more. The last Subterranean Soundwaves I did, the sound was terrible. I don't know why, but there it is. That's what happened. So I made a commitment to everybody that I would replay over the next few months the bands that were on that show, the tracks that I played, so everybody could have an opportunity to listen to it again, because I should probably just delete the whole thing, but it has a lot of spins on it, so I've left it up there. But again, I just apologize. I don't know what happened. So this is a band called LowMad. They're from Belgium. They're a stoner metal band, and this album, Lost, was released independently in 2024, December of 2024. I got this from HardLife Promotion, so thanks so much, Mike, for sending me great stuff. LowMad can be found on Bandcamp, Instagram, and Facebook. I've been now sort of making it a habit of looking for bands that have Blue Sky pages, but I couldn't find any. But please get on there. Get on Blue Sky. Get on Blue Sky. Get away from Meta. It is not serving us. No, it is not. So the track that I played last month's Subterranean Soundwaves by LowMad is Kaleidoscope Dreams, and that's what you're going to hear again right now. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with me. I appreciate all of you so much, more than ever, because we all really need each other right now, and I need you, and you need me, and we need each other, and all that stuff. And all the bands that you hear today, please go and check them out, follow them on their socials, engage with them, tell them that you heard them on the Whizbanger Show, and they will appreciate it, and so will I. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for opening the show today, and away we go. Here is LowMad with Kaleidoscope Dreams on the Subterranean Soundwaves edition of the Whizbanger Show. right. We are back. I'm Sarah Whizbanger, your host for the most. You are tuned into the Subterranean Soundwaves edition of the Whizbanger Show. Thank you ever so much for hanging out with me today. I sure do appreciate you. All right. That was a band from Virginia Beach, Virginia called Woodwitch with Solitude is My Name. And that was released on the 1st of this month, March. Wait, it's still March, right? Yeah. Wait. Yes, it's the 28th. Is time zipping by for you? Time is zipping by for me, I swear. Sina Modor is the name of their album that was released on the 1st of this month, this year. Woodwitch 1, the number 1, on Bandcamp, Instagram, and Facebook. Woodwitch Band, Woodwitch Lives. Go and check out Woodwitch. Follow them, support them, and tell them Sarah Whizbanger sent you. And pick up Sina Modor on Bandcamp. Woodwitch from Virginia Beach. Top of that set was the replay of LowMad's Kaleidoscope Dreams. They are a stoner metal rock band out of East Flanders, Belgium. Their album Lost was released independently via a little support from Mike over at HardLife Promotion in December of last year. LowMad punks, and I love this band so much. And yeah, they're variably listed as doom, post, I don't know. And then I think I went off on a tangent saying that I was going to do a post show. Maybe I don't remember if that was that show, but I am thinking about it. I'm putting it all together. All the bands that have post in their title, genre titles, I thought that might be kind of interesting. And then maybe we could all figure out exactly what it is. Is it navel gazing? Navel gaze? I know navel gazing. Navel gaze is also like a subgenre. I don't even know. I like the old fashioned heavy metal, speed metal, punk rock. Those used to be our only gears. But now there's all this other stuff, navel gaze. I remember hearing that and I was like, what does that even mean? I still don't know. Someone explain it to me. All right, let's go to, we've got couple of long tracks in the show today. This is the first one. This is a band from Denmark. They're called Center of the Earth. And I picked the track for you, Black Night Satellite. I just love the name of that. I love the name of the title of the song, and that's night as in the Black Knight with one arm. It's just a flesh wound. My kids dressed up as the Black Knight for Halloween one year. They were, I want to say Devin was like 11 years old, maybe 12. And we actually found the Monty Python Black Knight outfit. And, yeah. Ask me for pictures. I'll share them with you. To my kids' delight. Center of the Earth can be found on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and Instagram. I don't know. This is a hilarious name. So I'm not sure if this band has like a Tolkien vibe to them or what, but, their handle on Facebook is Tolkion, Tolkion. Hey, so guys, Center of the Earth band, give me a ring. Let me know. Send me a message on the socials there. If you're a Tolkien band, we're going to have to include you in the, November Thanksgiving Massacre, Lord of the Rings edition, which I think this is year 5 that I'm doing it. No, it'd be year 4. Year 4, 5? I don't know. Done a lot of them. All right, I'm Sarah Whizbanger, your host for the most, and away we go. Here is Center of the Earth from Denmark doing the track Black Night Satellite off their album As Above, So Below, which was released independently this year in February. I'm Sarah Whizbanger, your host for the most. You are tuned into the Subterranean Soundwaves edition, focusing on all underground independent bands. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for listening, and away we go. Here's Center of the Earth. Enjoy this tasty treat. I'll talk to you in 10 minutes.
Fucking life, they've been fucking with me.
right, that was your first of two long tracks today on the Subterranean Soundwaves edition of the Whizbanger Show. We're on number 253, I think. 254. 254 shows. I've done more than that, but that's just how I'm counting them. Don't ask. I had a whole thing worked out in my head about formulas and stuff, and it made sense. Center of the Earth is from Denmark, and their album As Above, So Below was released in February of this year. They were a stoner doom metal out of Denmark. The track that I shared with you today is called Black Knight Satellite. You can engage with this band, follow them, send them a message, tell them the Whizbanger sent you. Center of the Earth on Bandcamp, Center of the Earth 1 on SoundCloud, Center of the Earth DK for Denmark on Instagram, and Tolkien on Facebook. Tolkien. So I still want to know, you guys, if you're a Tolkien band, get at me if you are. Starting to curate that show early because the year is going by super fast. All right. We are going to, we're just hanging out in Europe today. We're going to Germany to listen to a band called Lion's Skull. The track is called Undertaker. They're a stoner doom band, and their album, The Bees Brought Honey from Nebular Skies, was released on the 30th of January this year. They're awesome. They're awesome. Enjoy this tasty treat. I'll be back to talk to you more about the bands that you're going to hear now in a little bit. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out.
Misuse me, broke our beauty, taught feelings, what
Wow, 3 whole bands in that last set. Can you handle it? I can handle it. I like to put just a couple of bands, though, because then it's easier to track for people to listen to and all of that. But Bifter, my band of the week. He had a short song, so I had to put 3 of them in there. Okay, that was not Bifter. Let's start over. That was a band called Iron Buddha. They're a stoner doom outfit out of Coral Springs, Florida, and their album Raise Repose was released independently with the help of Claire over at Purple Sage PR in May of 2023. Iron Buddha is on Bandcamp, Facebook, Instagram, and Linktree. Look for Iron Buddha 666 or Iron Buddha Riffs. And I played the track for you, Asura Raise. Super meditative, but also very intense and awesome. Bifter from Australia, Sydney, Australia, to be specific. They were my Whizbanger of the week, and I played the only track I have for them. So when you guys have more red stuff, send it my way, because I will play it, because you are awesome. I got this from Kyle over there at Good Boy PR. This was a single released on the 20th of this month, this year, and it was called, or it still is called, Kyan Prati. Kyan Prati. Fun with words. It's like the Dr. Seuss show every day on the Whizbanger Show. Kyan Prati. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I did try. I did look it up. I did. I know I don't have a lot of time to do this stuff, but I do it anyway. That's all I got. Linktree Bifter Band, Bifter on Bandcamp, Bifter Band on Facebook and Instagram, and they've got some shows coming up on the 19th of April. They are playing with Piston Fist and Cannabis and Head. Piston Fist with Cannabis and Head. And that's at Vinny's Dive. And on the 26th of April, they are playing at Sunburn Singing Bird Studios with Earthbong, Pod People, Ghost Smoker. I've played them before. They're awesome. And a whole bunch of other bands. Isua also. That's going to be a cool one. And then they've got Dirt Fest Australia in May. And then more to be announced, including another festival. All right, that's super awesome. Bifter from Sydney, Australia, the Whizbanger of the week. Lion Skull, a stoner doom band out of Berlin, Germany, kicked that whole set off with the track Undertaker. And their album, The Bees Brought Honey from Nebular Skies, was released in January of this year. Lion Skull is on Bandcamp, Instagram, YouTube, and they also were part of the charity compilation, which is still ongoing through Path of Doom Radio, which you can get on the Bandcamp page. Path of Doom Radio on Bandcamp, Stop War in Ukraine, open charity compilation. Go donate to it because there's still bands that go and contribute to it. And then, so just go in there and download it again every few months and see what new stuff is on there. And Ukraine needs a lot of help right now. Ukrainians need a lot of help right now. We all need a lot of help. Jesus. I might not even be able to leave the country. That's fun. That's fun. Academics are being targeted, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully they don't go looking on the Whizbanger Show, listening to the show. I'll be fired from America. All right. We are next going over to Antwerp, Belgium. And God, weird, like Europe heavy today. I did not do that on purpose. Just happened. But I don't pay attention. Sometimes I pay attention to these things. Not today. I did last week, though. All right. This is a band called Hraefn. Hraefn with the track World Eater. Sorry. World Eater, and this is your second long track. This one's almost 10 minutes long. They're a heavy doom metal outfit out of Belgium. Their album Research into Infinity, the EP rather, was dropped in November independently of last year. That came out all fucked up. Their EP Research into Infinity dropped in November of last year. There you go. Came out right that time. They've got a website, a homepage, Hraefn, Hraefn.be for Belgium. They're on Instagram at Hraefn Band on Facebook, and Bandcamp. Hraefn. Hopefully I did that right. And away we go. I'm going to go look it up and see if I'm pronouncing it right or getting it all jacked. I'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out and listening to the show.
How long before climate change renders this planet unlivable? 2 generations? 1?
if I wanted to. I don't know that I can do this, but it's Hraefn, and it's Old Norse for raven. I think I knew that because I think I played this band before. Hraefn. How did I do? That's who that was. Hraefn with World Eater. They're a heavy doom metal outfit out of Belgium. I need water. Their EP, Research into Infinity, dropped in November of last year. Hraefn Band on Bandcamp, Facebook, Instagram, and check out their website, hraefn.be. And you can keep up with them and follow them and check out what this band is doing. And they're super awesome. And they've got a pretty cool website. I think I looked on here and were there shows? Yes, there are shows. And why am I looking on their website? I actually finally did what I'm supposed to do, and I copy and pasted it right into my notes. They are playing Antwerp Music City with Miss Lava and Broken Orange in July. And they've got a couple other, got a TBA in December. And I think that they have a festival coming up too. So check out Hraefn, Norse for raven. I'm surrounded by giant ravens up here in the mountains of New Mexico. It's crazy. They're big. Oh my God, they're so big. So it's cool. They just hang out. I love it. Murder of crows, and I don't know what you call. Is that also a murder of ravens? I don't know. They don't gather like crows, though, but big motherfuckers, I'll tell you what. All right, next up, we are going to Rochester, New York to hear some sludge. And it's about to get nasty now. You ready? I'm ready. This band is called Manic Wound, and they're from Rochester, New York. It's a one-human band. And the album Surgeon General's Warning was released independently on the 13th of January of this year. And I picked the track Stubborn for you. And away we go. Time to get up and do some calisthenics, some jumping jacks, have a one human mosh pit in your room. Hey, or if you've got a house full of people, be like, all right, y'all, it's about to get nasty up in here. Let's hang out. We're going to go do a pit in the living room. I'm just going to jump up and down and do some jumping jacks. I haven't exercised yet today. I'm Sarah Whizbanger, your host with the most. And away we go. Here is Manic Wound with Stubborn on the Whizbanger Show, Subterranean Soundwaves edition. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with me today.
I am love. I am unfinished. I am not your fucking sassy black friend. I am not exotic. I will not spit a rhyme for you. I will not run for your God. No, you cannot touch my fucking. You can watch me work twice as hard as my counterparts because this is how I was created. I was born and bred in a white world. My uniform was one of unison, and it was one of self-fucking loathing. The kinks in my hair and the power of those who paved the way before me are my reason to succeed. I will no longer smooth out my complexion to suit your goddamn. I am messy. I am unclean. I am damaged. I am fractured, but I will no longer be ashamed. I wear my scars with pride, and I will never again be the person in the mirror who conks their locks and who cries because they are not snow fucking white. Take your anti-frizz. Take your flat iron. Take your white agenda and leave me the fuck No, I am not anti-white, but you're goddamn fucking right. I am pro-black. I am the queer with their fists raised out of black love and Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Sojourner. Thank you, Huey. Thank you, Martin. And thank you, Malcolm. Who, like me, spent 3 hours flattening every bump, every kink, and every shred of their dignity to subscribe to a facade. I will no longer keep my fucking mouth shut. Embracing my blackness gave me the courage that you, yes you fucking white people, can never take away from me. Hands up! Embrace! I am fucking power! Black lives! Black lives!
if you are somebody who has found a band, got super excited about them, you were like, this is my new favorite band, y'all, forever in a day, only to find out they've split up. Welcome to my world and welcome to Vagina Witchcraft. Oh my goodness, the first thing I ever heard from this band was the opener, the intro that you got, and it gave me chills, y'all, chills, because I have some friends who have been nestled into that category and who have been asked to have their hair touched and weird shit like that, and now I'm just a white lady, and I try to do the best I can every day, and I always have more to learn, and I appreciate anytime anyone is willing to shout out what needs to be heard. And yeah, gave me chills. I listened to it like 3 times and I was like, well, I want to play this on the show. I almost opened it for y'all, but it didn't work out because I wanted to play Starting Over, which is another song on the album. And so that's how those two came together. But God damn it, why did you break up? I love you, and I need more of you in my life. More Vagina Witchcraft in the world. Yes, please. Well, sludge, doom, metal, hardcore punk outfit out of Manitoba. Hopefully they will be doing something else soon. They are amazing, and you can find their album, self-titled, released in 2020, on their Bandcamp page, Vagina Witchcraft. And they're also on Facebook at VWBand204 and on Instagram at Vagina Witchcraft Band. And oh my goodness, I really, really fucking love this band. More Vagina Witchcraft in the world, and we'd all be a lot better off for it, I think. Okay, before that was Spanghew, just dropped in my lap independently from Seattle, Washington. I played Castrated Swollen, and that album just came out on the 21st, so last week. The album is called Wing Ridden Victory, and you can pick it up Bandcamp, Instagram, and SoundCloud, and the spelling of the band is Spanghew, Spanghew, and thank you, Spanghew. You're fucking awesome. Castrated Swollen. Always here for the feminists on the Whizbanger Show. Manic Wound, top of the set was Stubborn, one human band out of Rochester, New York, and his album Surgeon General's Warning dropped independently on the 13th of January this year. Manic Wound can be found on Bandcamp and Instagram. Look for Manic Wound Sludge. Next up, we're going back to Florida to hear a stoner doom sludge metal outfit out of Central Florida. They're called Stoned Morose, and I picked a track for you, Esoterica, and was released in 2023 on the album Pure Hesher Doom, and you can go find them on Stoned Morose, Bandcamp, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Linktree. Find out everything that's going on with this band, and I'm going to get back in a little bit to say goodnight to you all wonderful people. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with me today. that's it. I'm all done. Hey, that was pretty good. Under 2 hours. Right on. Hey, I'm Sarah Whizbanger, your host with the most. You've been tuned into the Subterranean Soundwaves edition number 254 on this lovely March, the last day in March. Now we are in spring, and I'm very happy about that. Beautiful day. Just gorgeous. And, you know, I've been learning to be very grateful for the little things because the world is in a dumpster fire right now, especially the United States. What the fuck is even going on, y'all? What? Hey, man, get in touch with me. Reach out. Follow me on Bandcamp and sign up for the Banger Blast by going to the whizbangershow.com. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and please follow me on Blue Sky. Find me there, whizbangershow@gmail.com, or reach out to me through the socials. Very excited to be doing a show for Eli's and doing some fundraising for them sometime in the next couple weeks. So look for that. In the meantime, there's no Bandcamp Friday in April. The next Bandcamp Friday is in May. If you want to be on that show, please reach out to me. And I love doing the show. I'm going to keep doing it. All right, that was Bonestrider. And Bonestrider is from Nottingham, England, where my friends Jesse and Chi-Chi live. They are a progressive sludge doom metal outfit, and their album, Death of a Binary Mind, dropped in December of last year. I played the track for you, Lost in the Digital Sea. Bonestrider is on Bandcamp, Instagram, and Facebook. And Stoned Morose from Central Florida with Esoterica kicked off that short set. Pure Hesher Doom dropped independently in 2023. You can find this band on their link tree. Just go to Stoned Morose. And we are ending with my dear friend all the way from Singapore, Who's Red, and his new album, his new outfit, the Ironfist. He's got all kinds of crazy, all kinds of stuff going on all the time. I'm still waiting for your throat singing thing. You owe me that. He does some throat singing, and it's awesome. I'm mildly obsessed with it. So this is an interesting track, all right? It's called Aokigahara Morbid Palace. And Aokigahara is a suicide forest in Japan. And I asked him, I was like, is this about the suicide forest? And he goes, yeah, it's really like a cry for help. And he sent me the lyrics, and it's a beautiful song. And it's super heavy. It's super heavy, but it's a beautiful song. And I've been teaching that film for years in my death and dying classes. So we had a good old time talking about the I can't say it. Aokigahara suicide forest in Japan. So this album, Akumalize, dropped on the 1st of January this year, and he is a one-man new wave of... Oh, wait, why do you say that you're a new wave of British heavy metal? You're not. Well, I guess some of your stuff is. Anyway, he says he is a one-man new wave of British heavy metal from a band from Singahell. And I interviewed him a few months ago. So go over to, if you sign up for the Banger Blast, you can find that interview along with other interviews, including one with Princess Beast of Animal School Bus and also the guys from Black Tusk. All right, the Ironfist Singahell on Bandcamp, Fist of the East on Facebook, and Who's Red on Instagram. And you're on, I think he's on Blue Sky now too. All right. I'm Sarah Whizbanger, your host for the most. That's your outro. I'm out of here. Please go and be nice to the world. Do something kind for somebody. Just, like pay it forward with a cup of coffee, or buy someone's groceries, or buy someone lunch, or go to the dispensary. When you go to the dispensary, get an extra pre-roll and give it to somebody. Just like do something kind, man. We need like radical, hardcore kindness happening right now. People need love. People need acknowledgement. Look people in the eye. Say hello. Smile. Do something for somebody. Please do something nice for yourselves. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and tuning into the show. I'll see you next week, y'all. Later.
Hello, humans. This is Al-Hazred, the Southeast Asian vampire from Singapore. You are listening to my next victim, Sarah, as she spins more delicious bands on the Whizbanger Show.
Wanting to be found.